I like South Park.
Yeah.
I like
South Park
things.
is the
South Park rules.
They fucking rule.
Did you see what they just did?
What'd they do?
They went at Harry. They went at Harry and Meghan.
She's suing
And they're
them.
trying to sue him. It's like, don't
What are you?
fucking
You're suing South Park?
kick that hornet's nest. Do not.
Really?
Oh my God! Yeah, you're just gonna
Really?
empower them to go harder.
Pretty brilliant episode.
Not suing, just mad. Not
Just
suing.
mad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but they
Which-
made an
mad.
official statement that we are angry.
Yeah, it just says, yeah.
Which was
we're not
exactly
suing, it's all nonsense. But
what the
she's very
episode
mad.
was.
It was only a matter of time before South Park took aim, and when they did, it was like dropping a cultural bomb. The target, Meghan Markle, and the fallout, absolutely wild. But just when the internet thought things couldn't get more intense, Joe Rogan stepped in. And what he had to say made the moment even bigger. Joe Rogan isn't the kind of guy to tiptoe around sensitive topics. He says what millions are thinking but are too afraid to voice. So when he saw the now infamous Respect Our Pregnancy South Park episode, he couldn't keep quiet. On a recent episode of his podcast, Joe delivered what might be the most unfiltered and honest takedown of Meghan Markle yet.
Let's have a bit of a laugh at Harry and Meghan's expense because I've finally caught up with this South Park episode.
It's quite vicious in a way, but quite funny as well.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
Time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
South Park, it's come to life. That's what we're witnessing in this hospital room right here.
You can't sue a cartoon. It's satire. It is what it is.
South Park has done a parody.
The gross disrespect to the intimacy and privacy of marriage and childbirth.
Okay, then you must be in the national system. Oh yeah, is this you? Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim.
Yeah, that's totally me.
So you hate journalists? That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
A quick look at the South Park destruction of Meghan and Harry just because it's so fun.
We want privacy. We want privacy.
Now, there are rumours they might be suing because they sue everybody over everything normally, especially if it's true.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time? There was like photos with her and Prince Andrew way back in the day when she was like in her early 20s. That's the big distraction.
That's the big distraction right there.
There's a war room apparently in England where they're trying to figure out what to do.
Oh, really?
I heard they. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yes. There's a war room.
I think I tuned
the
out.
Royals.
The
the
Royal
Royals
War Room.
have got. They're about to go to war.
Well, the wanker is, he's put out this book, Spare, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I guess everybody falls down one side or the other. Do you support Harry and Meghan? Do you not?
Here it is. Royals set up a war room to discuss Prince Harry's memoir.
Some Taliban commander is now trolling Harry over his talk about the Afghans that he killed. And I got to look it up. But
What has he said about the Afghans he killed? This is why he was a pilot?
yeah, this is while he was over there on duty. I don't know to what degree. I again, full disclosure, haven't read the book.
Taliban leader responds to Prince Harry's reported claim in Spare that he killed 25 fighters in Afghanistan.
I mean, who does that? Who talks? I mean, again,
Very strange.
it's very strange.
But it's also very strange that he was, essentially infiltrated by a very ambitious actress. She used to be on
Was
Deal or
he
No
infiltrated?
Deal. She was one of the Deal
Is that
or No Deal
technically
ladies.
the way it works? Is he
I think
infiltrated
so.
or was she infiltrated?
Well, it depends on who's
yeah.
getting pegged.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
How's
right?
that work?
Well, I'm a little upset with Prince Harry, but other than that, it's working out really well.
Are you mad that he left the throne or whatever the fuck he did?
No, I mean,
Doesn't it make sense?
well, it probably makes sense because I don't know that he's the sharpest tool in the box, and he's probably thinking we can make a lot more money if. But they're not supposed to make any money off of being a member of the royal family.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a while. She's a harlot. Almost.
She's well, harlot's bad, right? She's just powerful. She's
actually that's a good point. Harlot and temptress.
Yeah, I think harlots are.
For those of you who are listening, that was the cartoon Meghan and Harry holding their placards, their protesting signs saying, "We want privacy. We want privacy." Okay. So and then we've got the twerking video. So we're going to take a look at this together.
Back to back.
Back to back.
I mean, if they're looking at that and think this is clever,
Yeah.
I mean, are they stupid or what?
Well, I think
Because
they
I just think because it just looks like it's in such poor taste, and yet she thinks that she's a princess and has the right almost to be HRH, although officially
Meghan Markle in allegedly a labor and delivery room with her loser of a husband, pregnant and twerking to allegedly induce labor. I saw this and I sent an emergency 911 text to Kinsey.
Joe started by calling the South Park episode brilliant, saying it managed to do what the media has tiptoed around for years. They just told the truth with cartoons, Joe said. They didn't even have to exaggerate that much. Meghan made it too easy. He laughed about the moment cartoon. Meghan is seen storming around a hospital set, pregnant and twerking, while lights, cameras, and chaos fill the room. That's not even parody at that point, Joe said. That's just copying real life. He was referring, of course, to the viral video Meghan uploaded of herself dancing in a hospital gown while pregnant, with Prince Harry awkwardly dancing behind her. Joe paused and asked his audience, how are we supposed to take that seriously? Who even films something like that and thinks, yeah, this will win people over? Joe didn't just laugh at the moment, he broke it down. He explained how Meghan has spent years trying to present herself as a serious public figure, as someone misunderstood, as someone fighting for truth and justice. But then she posts videos like that, releases podcasts about her struggles from her California mansion, and signs huge media deals. It's a contradiction, Joe said, and people are finally done pretending not to see it. And that's what South Park capitalized on. Joe said that the show didn't go after Meghan out of nowhere. They simply did what comedians do, highlight the obvious. And what's obvious, according to Joe, is that Meghan's carefully built image is falling apart. He pointed to the way South Park portrayed Meghan and Harry as people who yell, "We want privacy," while constantly filming documentaries and giving interviews. It's genius, Joe said, because that's exactly what we've all been watching happen in real life. They walked away from the royal family saying they wanted peace, then immediately turned around and signed Netflix deals and did TV specials. Joe criticized the way Meghan has used the idea of being a victim as part of her brand. It's all theater, he said, and that hospital video, that's the moment the curtain got pulled back. Joe said what made the South Park episode so impactful wasn't just that it was funny, it was that it felt too real. He noted how the animation was exaggerated, but the message was grounded in facts. Meghan and Harry, despite leaving the royal family, never really left the spotlight. They just swapped one stage for another, Joe said. They said they didn't like the attention, but now they control the spotlight. He then brought up the reported panic behind the scenes once Meghan's team found out about the episode. According to various sources, Meghan's PR team allegedly tried to stop the episode from airing. Joe laughed and said, "Imagine being so concerned about your image that a cartoon sends your entire team into crisis mode." Joe argued that this reaction just proved South Park's point. You can't spend years shaping your image, then freak out when people call out the contradictions. He said, if it's all fake, expect people to notice. He was especially amused by the ending of the South Park episode when cartoon Meghan uploads her documentary to YouTube only to get 12 views. That hit hard, Joe said, because it's a metaphor for what's happening now. Her projects aren't landing like they used to. People aren't buying it anymore. Joe also brought up Meghan's deal with Spotify, which ended early. That's not a good sign, he said. If you're supposed to be this huge media powerhouse and a major platform cuts ties with you, something's not working. Joe believes part of the problem is that Meghan doesn't seem to know what she wants to be. Is she royalty? Is she a Hollywood producer? Is she an activist? A lifestyle guru? Joe asked, where she keeps changing roles but wants to be taken seriously in all of them. He said people crave authenticity. When it feels like you're always performing, people tune out, Joe said. And that's exactly what South Park exposed. The performance. Joe also didn't hold back on Prince Harry. He said the way Harry follows along in these public stunts is awkward at best, embarrassing at worst. In the South Park episode, cartoon Harry stumbles around trying to support Meghan, but looks like he has no idea what's going on. Then he dropped a line that really hit home. Meghan and Harry aren't victims of the media. They're addicted to it. He went on to explain how every public appearance, every interview, every brand deal seems to be designed not to escape the spotlight, but to own it. He said South Park made that point better than anyone else could. When a cartoon captures your entire public image in 22 minutes and the world instantly agrees, that's not just comedy, that's truth. Joe said Meghan's biggest problem is that she underestimates how smart the public is. People notice when the story doesn't match the actions. You can't keep saying one thing and doing another. He warned other celebrities watching the situation to learn from it. If you're constantly telling the world how misunderstood you are, eventually people are going to stop listening. If you want privacy, go live a private life. Don't make a show out of it. Joe ended his rant by saying that Meghan Markle wasn't being bullied by South Park, she was being held accountable. Comedy is how we deal with contradictions, he said, and Meghan's whole brand is one big contradiction. He closed the podcast by saying the most dangerous thing in today's world isn't criticism, it's pretending that no one's allowed to criticize you. Once you say you're off limits, you've already lost the conversation. In Joe Rogan's eyes, Meghan's fall from grace isn't the fault of the media or the royal family. It's a result of her own decisions. And now, thanks to South Park, more people are seeing it for what it really is. Not a fairy tale, but a scripted performance with no clear ending. It all started with one cartoon, just one South Park episode, and the entire internet turned upside down. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had spent years crafting their public image. They wanted to be seen as independent, misunderstood, and above all, victims of a system that never gave them a chance. But then South Park aired Respect Our Pregnancy, and suddenly, the royal narrative was no longer theirs to control. And when Joe Rogan saw that episode, he didn't hold back. He saw right through it, and what he said afterward, that's what really shook the internet. On his podcast, Joe Rogan opened with laughter, but it didn't take long for him to get serious. They've been living in a fantasy, he said. And South Park just showed everyone what that fantasy really looks like. According to Joe, the episode wasn't just funny, it was necessary. It did what few platforms have dared to do: peel away the layers of Meghan and Harry's media persona and reveal the contradictions hiding underneath. Joe Rogan isn't someone who jumps on every trending topic. He watches, he observes, and when he talks, it's because he's seen something that doesn't add up. This time, it was Meghan Markle's entire branding strategy. He called it a performance that's gone on too long. He said the way she constantly appears in documentaries, interviews, and public speeches while claiming to seek privacy isn't just ironic, it's dishonest. The South Park episode mirrors this contradiction perfectly. Cartoon versions of Meghan and Harry storm around town chanting, "We want privacy," while doing book tours and press interviews. Joe Rogan laughed at that scene for a solid minute, saying, "That's the most accurate thing I've ever seen on TV. It's so obvious, but no one says it until now." He pointed out that the comedy wasn't even exaggerated. The jokes worked because they were based on reality. Meghan's the only person who could make a twerking hospital video and still expect people to take her seriously, Joe said. And now it's animated and the whole world is seeing the truth. That truth, according to Joe, is that Meghan has turned every private moment into a public performance. The hospital video, the Oprah interview, the Netflix series, each one was framed as personal and vulnerable but felt scripted and controlled. It's not about telling your story, Joe Twers. It's about selling a story. He then broke down one of the most talked about scenes in the episode: cartoon Meghan strutting through a hospital room, pregnant, twerking, and shouting orders at the camera crew. Joe couldn't stop laughing. Who even does that, he asked. Who turns childbirth into a music video? The joke, of course, is based on a real video Meghan shared, a glamorized hospital moment where she dances, smiles, and tries to look relatable. But to Joe, it didn't feel real. It felt like another attempt to control the narrative. "You can't choreograph authenticity," he said, "and the moment you try, you lose the audience." Joe noted that South Park didn't need to exaggerate to make Meghan look foolish. "They just held up a mirror," he said, "and she didn't like what she saw." He then turned his attention to Meghan's PR team. According to reports, her reps tried to stop the episode from airing. There were legal threats, calls to executives, and a lot of behind-the-scenes scrambling. Joe's reaction? If a cartoon makes you panic that much, maybe it's because there's some truth in it. He explained that real public figures, ones who are confident in who they are, don't fear parody. You know who doesn't freak out over jokes? People who are honest about themselves, Joe said. Meghan wants all the attention, but none of the criticism. That's not how it works. And it's not just Meghan he's concerned about. Joe called out Prince Harry as well, saying he's lost in the sauce. He described Harry's transformation as bizarre, going from a soldier and royal to a Hollywood brand ambassador. He looks like a guy who signed up for a hiking trip and woke up in a fashion show, Joe joked. Joe then mentioned how Meghan and Harry's brand has started to crumble. Spotify ended their contract, Netflix projects are on hold, Hollywood insiders are quietly backing away. It's not because people hate them, Joe explained. It's because people are tired of being sold this story that doesn't match reality. He talked about the ending of the South Park episode, where cartoon Meghan uploads her pregnancy documentary and it gets only 12 views. Joe said that moment was painful because it was honest. That's where she's headed, he said. When people stop believing you, they stop watching. That's the danger. Joe believes Meghan's downfall isn't about media attacks or royal drama. It's about overexposure and lack of self-awareness. You can't be in the spotlight every day and then act shocked when people form opinions, he said. He also touched on the generational shift in how people see celebrities. Back in the day, stars had mystique. They were distant, unreachable, Joe said. Now we've got stars who live stream their personal lives and still say they want privacy. He thinks Meghan misread the room. She thought vulnerability was enough, he said. But people want more than that. They want honesty. And the South Park episode, Joe said, was a wake-up call, not just for Meghan, but for Hollywood. You can't script your way out of reality forever, he said. Eventually, someone will draw a cartoon of you and blow it all up. Joe ended the segment by saying he wasn't rooting for Meghan to fail. I'm rooting for her to be real, he said, because right now it feels like everything she does is for the camera. His final comment? If you don't want to be a meme, maybe don't act like one. It was a takedown, yes. But it was also a warning, a reminder that in today's world, truth travels faster than spin. And when someone like Joe Rogan speaks out, people listen. Meghan Markle may have once controlled her story, but now she's part of someone else's script. And whether it's South Park, Joe Rogan, or the millions of viewers watching, the message is loud and clear. The act is wearing thin, the crown is slipping, and the audience isn't clapping anymore. So where does Meghan go from here? That's the question. She could double down, blame the media, and claim she's being unfairly targeted, or she could take a step back, stop performing, and start being real. But as Joe Rogan said, at some point the show has to end, and when it does, people remember the last scene the most.